Hi, critical path is the longest path in the network. Activities on the critical path have zero float, and if activities on the critical path slip, projects slip. What is float?
Float is the amount of time an activity can be delayed without affecting the early start date of the next activity. Float equals late start minus early start. Float is calculated by subtracting the early start date, S of an activity, from the late start date, LS. I have to conduct the training program on the coming Monday. I have the choice of printing the course material on the last Monday or on Friday, or any day in between. Last Monday was 19th and the coming Friday is 23rd. So float is L.S minus E.S, and in this case float is 23 minus 19, which is equal to 4 days. This activity has a float of 4 days.
What does it mean? Does it mean that while scheduling, if I schedule the printing job to start on 19th, even if it gets delayed by 4 days, the training will happen on time?
Absolutely. The definition of float is the amount of time an activity can be delayed from its start date, without affecting the early start date of the next activity.
Oh, that is clear to me. Activities on the critical path will have zero float, and they cannot be delayed, whereas activities on the non-critical paths have float greater than zero.
This gives a lot of flexibility to the project manager. If the activities on the critical path are delayed, she can always use resources from other paths on the critical path.
That is wonderful. Professional project management empowers the project manager. One get a lot of flexibility if they have implemented these concepts at the workplace.
I completely agree with you.
Is float and slack same?
Yes. Float and slack are same.
Can a project have negative float?
Possibility of a negative float arises when the actual start date is later than the late start date. In this case we will get a negative float. It happens in delayed projects.
Are float and lag same?
No. They are two different things. Float is the amount of time an activity can be delayed without affecting the early start date of the next activity. Lag is just waiting time. After pouring concrete, we must give 8 days curing time. This is an example of lag.
What is a lead?
Lead is all about parallelism. When the flooring is 80% done, I may start carpeting. When the requirements are 80% clear, we may start design. That is lead.
So, lag always elongates the schedule, whereas the lead compresses the schedule. Should I always come out with a fully compressed schedule with maximum lead time incorporated?
That is risky. Do not optimize a schedule to that level from the beginning. These are some of the flexibilities you have during execution, when there is a slippage.
Thank you. What is a buffer?
Buffers are those extras we build into the activities, while estimating the time and resource requirements of the activities, in order to manage contingencies during execution.
Typically, how much buffer should I build into the activities?
It depends. There is no globally accepted, universal figure for this. Do not forget the fact that every project is unique. We will have to use expert judgment to arrive at this. One can always maintain 3 schedules. One based on optimistic values, another based on pessimistic values, and another one based on most likely. Give the optimistic one to the team, the pessimistic to the boss, and keep the most likely with you. Indirectly you are creating 2 levels of buffer here.
That is the best part of our discussion today. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. Have a nice day. This video is created by the Project Management Research Institute, PMRI.